session is all about importing of BSP journals, and this is in the GL. Okay, so it's not in the main module, this is in the GL. And I know we did touch base on it last week for a little bit, so today I'm going to go into a lot of depth. It's not going to be a long session. Ooh, and my luck, sorry guys, let me get out of my dog, sorry. Oh, the Yorkies, they're lying today. And they're really not just moving. Can they just shush now? Oh, there they go. Threats gone. Sorry about that. I have no, their timing sucks. They sleep on my lap the whole morning, and then when I start training, they go like, wah, 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 wah. That's typical of small dogs. Eh? Okie dokes. As I said earlier on, today's session is all about importing. We can do BSP Recons, and I'll show you how to do a bank statement as well. If you have a bank statement and yours looks different to what I'm doing right now, and you want me to show you how to do that, you can email me and then just send me a PM. I promise you can take out your name and everything in there. Nobody should see the details, but I can show you how to import 5 or so minutes. Okay. My job is not to teach you Excel, guys, and I'm not that proficient with Excel. I know my quick software and I know it very well. My Excel, not so much. So I do what I do in Excel to get it done. If you have faster, better ways, by all means do that. Alternatively, YouTube's also your friend, so you can go look at easier ways to do it on YouTube. I'm just going to do it my way. If it's long-winded, I'm sorry. Right, now, let's start with the first one. Shall we look at BSP Recon? I'm assuming you can all see my screen because I'm not hearing anybody saying, show your screen for a change, which is a good thing. Right, this is my BSP Recon after I've deleted all the lines that didn't have in, actually this is just a raw one. Okay. I'm hoping that you're all going to join us tomorrow for the BSP training, and we're going to show you how you can import those BSP files from IATA into QuickTrav so that you don't have to go and do these manual reconciliations to try and figure out where your differences are, and you don't have to come and type in here the totals that you had from IATA. Now you will notice that I was a fool, and I definitely did this way back in 2019. For some reason, I did a manual recon. And you can see I had IATA billing 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is not the super awesome way that Sylvia is going to show you tomorrow. This is for all of us who didn't know that we could import the BSP billing into QuickTrav by quickly converting it on our website. Okay, it is seriously cool, and I'm not doing a sales pitch here. Trust me, if you have like lines of 3,000 tickets a month or per billing, you want that little program, and we can absolutely share it with you. It's no problem. Now, in this particular BSP billing, as I said, this was done manually because I've got an IATA 1, 2, 3, and 4. But the column we're going to focus on is the difference column. Now, to create this into a journal, what I normally do is I have to obviously go look for differences and put in some notes. And I've already done that here. You can see here, I have a difference of 208 Rand. And I just said it's not on my billing. It was invoiced, not on my billing, whatever. So you will go through the normal rigmarole of doing your BSP Recon, but what you are interested in is all these little okies here that has actual balances. Now the easiest way I do it, to get only, whoops, sorry, there's my recon already done, is I simply go down, look at the entire recon, and then I'm going to tell the system that I want to sort it only by my difference column because I'm only looking for line items that actually has amounts. So I'm just going to go data, and then I'm going to go sort, and I'm going to say the column I want to sort is S. Why? Because it has my differences in there. So I'm just going to go down and say S. And now I've got merged lines in here. Now if you're wondering what a merged line is, you know these, I'm going to try and find them for you if I can get it. There we go. There's a bugger. You see these? They span across multiple columns and they are referred to as merged lines. And now my system is freaking out because it's saying, Deirdre, I don't know how to sort a merge thing. Get rid of them. I was hoping it would do it automatically for me, but it's not. So simply just get rid of the lines you don't want. Just go and delete them. So anything that's merged, delete. And you can see here I'm deleting. If you need to ask something, unmute yourself, please, because I'm not looking at chats right now, okay? So simply go down, delete the stuff that you know you don't want, and then I'm going to do that sorting again, because I don't have time to go and delete a 0, and then a 0, and then a 0. I just got rid of the stuff that I knew had merged lines. So I'm just paging up, seeing if there's anything there. And the last bugger is, of course, the end ticket. So let's go and delete that and try again. Go to the very end. You can do Control End as well if you want. I'm just too lazy. Right, and now again we're going to do the sorting. And again, column S, because I only want to look at the stuff where there's differences. I'm going to talk about bank statements as well, so don't stress there. All right. So now we have all of these nice stuff, and then here starts all our zeros. So what are we going to do? We're getting rid of the zeros. You're not going to put a zero amount into your journal. That would, I won't say, it's not a stupid thing, but do you really want to like hog your journal down with millions of lines of zeros? I wouldn't. Let's go down. Right, so you find all your zeros, and then you go and you delete them. Sorry again. All right, so here's all my differences. And you can now, if you want to put it back into date order, whatever you want to do. I'm just going to go put it back in date order because I like it that way. So data, sort, and in day order, which is column A. And then it says, would you like to sort it, anything that looks like a number as a number, or should it be this separately? This is a date. They all should be fine. So we're just going to say sorted as a number. Right. Now there is some transactions down here that does not have dates. Why? Because when I did this manually, and you can see there's the manual columns where I captured this stuff, I never went and put in the date. It is not a train smash because our journal will generally be dated at the end of the month of the particular BSP Recon we're doing. Now I'm just for now going to pretend this is 2020. Okay. Now, at first glance, your recon is done. You're only left with your reconcilable items. Okay? And of course, the system says to you that your total is going to be 16,744, which is good. It is my grand total. To create this file into a format that QuickTrav is going to understand, you need to go into the GL, go into the transaction batch where you want to import this. And let's go and look at the help file and see what the help file is saying. So let me do this and make it a bit smaller. Cooks, okay, that didn't work. I was hoping it's going to do both of them in one screen and it doesn't. So let's go in here, transactions, BSP journals. All right, so this is my journal batch. Normally, a lot of you would simply go in here and go and say new, and then you would start typing up and you would do line by line by line by line by line, which is okay if you don't have a big journal or if you don't have a lot of Cashbook entries. However, you can tell the system that you want to import it. There's a beautiful button here at the bottom called import. So if you click on that, the system is going to say, would you like to import from Excel or calc? Now, depending on which program you have, you will be able to import from whichever one. I'm going to say Excel. And the minute I do that, this import screen opens up and it's talking about an Excel file. Now I'm saying, hold your horses. I don't know how I'm supposed to create this. And that's where this help button comes in. When you click on help, help says to you guys, please, step 1, your spreadsheet must contain in row 1, column 1, this table. Can you see that table? Those brackets? All right, so what do I need to do? Does mine have that table thing? No. Okay, let's go do this. So it says to me I must do the table. I'm going to leave this because I like the integrity and I like to see exactly which columns I got stuff from and what it was all about. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to insert some columns. Right? And then, remember it said to me, it wants that table thing. So that's table, close the brackets. Let's go do that. Okay, we can do that. I'm going to say table. Okay, so step 1 is done. Now we need to go see what else it wants. The next step then says, we would like a header row using the column headers below. It can be in any order, but please, no blank columns. Now the column headers are these. Right. Now you can either choose date, which will consist of the year, the month, and the day, or you can go period and day. So it's either date or period and day. Okay. So let's go and put in, do we have a full date in here? Let's go into my Excel spreadsheet. I don't have a full date, but I'm sure I can put it in. At this point in time, I would strongly suggest getting rid of these lines here. Okay, why? Because we are going to put in headers now, but we don't need that nonsense. So I'm just going to delete these lines just so that I can follow exactly my instructions from my GL. So it says date. Do you agree with me? Add a date in there. Let's see. So it says date must be in this order, the year / the month / the day. Okay, I can do that. Now, as I said to you earlier on, this is going to be October 2020, although I have 19, sorry. I'm going to say, oh, we're not in October 2020 yet. Why am I? Never mind, guys, this is Corona year. Deirdre is very tired today. Sorry. I'm simply going to enter it exactly in the way the system asked for it, which was your century, your year / month / day. I think I'm hoping October's here already. I think we're all over this. Okay, so does it look like that in that kind of format? Yes, it does. Tick to myself, I'm happy. All right. Next thing. Now, I can either now go and copy this right through to the end, or I can simply wait. It's absolutely up to you. I'm going to just be naughty and I'm going to do all my headings and then I'm going to cheat and I'll show you what I'm going to do. But this is for BSP where the date remains the same. You're not going to do this for bank statements, okay? Right, so we have a date. Tick, we're happy. We need an account number. Do you agree with me? All right, so I'm going to go down. Let me go put in that account number. And you put that in exactly as you see it. So if it says to you it wants account with a capital A and everything else lowercase, you're going to match exactly that column header. Right. Another way of cheating to make sure that you are doing the right thing is like this ref, where it wants a ref. You can right click and just say copy field, and then in Excel go in and paste it. So it makes sure that you've got that thing exactly the same as what my help file is saying. The next thing then says it wants details. I'm going to go in here. Just type in details. I don't think I copied. Oops, sorry, that was me pressing too many buttons. And then, of course, the last thing that it talks about is it also would like an amount. Okay, so let's go give it an amount, because why else would we do a journal? Let's go into amount. And then is there anything else? No, you can see when I click my up and down arrows, there's nothing else. All right, that item number is if you want to change the item order in which it displays. I'm not going to do that now. I'm not going to waste time. Right, so now we have our headings, but we haven't got any data. It then says to you, step 3, we need data rows. Now, very important, no blank records. Guys, your importing will fail if there's any blank records. Now, if I look at this, right now, do I have blank records? Yes, I do, because I haven't populated the stuff where it belongs. Right, so what do? My account, You at this point, if you know your GL account codes, can go and look at all those account numbers and put them in there. I'm going to leave them blank, and I'm going to show you why. Because the next session is going to show you that if you have a reference or something in there, like not on billing, and you want it to, and where I'm getting that from is here. Let me just delete this column so that you can see. See here in my notes, when we set this up, that it says not on billing, in the next session at 12 o'clock, I'm going to show you that if you tell the system, find the word not on billing, and automatically allocate it for me to my BSP sort out account, my GL will actually do that for you. And then I also think, I don't think anybody utilizes it. And again, let the system allocate stuff for you if it can. But that's the next session. We're not going to do that now. So we'll leave for this session. We're going to leave the account number blank. At the reference, you need to, of course, give this reference. Now, because this is a BSP, I normally just say BSP followed by the month, and you can do this in caps, lowercase, however you want to. And then, of course, the year. It's easy. It's quick for my auditors to pick it up. If you have a better suggestion with regards to BSP Recons and what you think that reference could be, then by all means go ahead and do that. You don't have, I'm not going to do that. Now, at details, ideally you need to try and say as much as possible with as few as possible fields. Now, with a BSP Recon, you'll agree with me that we will always look at the reference because that's your ticket or ADM or document number. And then, of course, I am one of those, I want to know why there's a difference. And this is part of my notes. Now, I need to get both these columns into one column, which is my details column. And there is various ways of doing it. I just like using my formulas, which is called concatenate. All right, and it sounds like a huge word, but all it does, it's going to take what I want and throw it into one column. So how do I get that? I'm going to go to formulas, text, and say concat. Now, when I say concat, this nice box open up, and the system's going to say, what would you like to do? So I'm going to say, the very first thing I want to show always is the ticket number. I don't want the reason. Give me the ticket number, because remember, if you joined me in contouring, you will recall that if the reference number is the first thing and you sort it by the detail column, it's very easy for you to contour. Right. So I like having the reference number in there. I'm sure some of my colleagues will disagree. And immediately the system says, I think this is the answer I'm going to show in this column. Now, I'm not going to stop here. I also want that notes there on the right-hand side that says not on billing. I also want to include that. And to do that, I need to separate. And you'll see here at the bottom, it shows you to separate, you're going to put in a comma. So I'm going to say comma. And then, because I like spaces, because I don't want to just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, not on billing, one long string. I like a space in there, or even a dash, or whatever you want to do. I'm going to use my speech brackets, put it in, space, close it. Now, if you put in a dash there, that's all. It's going to give you the same result. It'll just have it in there. Then I'm going to say comma, because I also want not on billing. So can you see it put a space in there? But it's basically given me all my results. Quite cool, quite nifty. And all I'm going to say is, okay. Once I do that, my system will yield the result that I was looking for. Now, if you wanted to include more stuff, like maybe more account numbers or document numbers or anything like that, remember that you will simply separate them with this comma and then followed by the column as well as the line number. Okay, so you can put in as much as you want in there. I normally only focus on these and then I start working, but it's really up to you guys. However many you want to put in there, you can. I think there is a limitation of about 150 characters. I stand to be corrected. Please don't shoot me if it's wrong. All right. So that's details. And right now at the top, although we see the result here, at the top you will see the actual formula we used. Now I know there's other ways of doing it. you can absolutely do it. I just find with concatenate it works easier because we have amounts and we have text that we have to combine. If there's easier ways, you're welcome to share them in group chat. I'm sure other people would like to know. Right. Now the last thing we need to do is we need to get this amount, right? Easiest way to do it, just say plus, and then just simply click on the difference column because we're only looking at differences, right? We're not going to look at all these other stuff. Right. Now, you've basically told the system what to get from every single field. Okay, except account, which is cool. We can leave accounts blank. We can't leave lines blank, but we can leave accounts blank. Now, easiest way to do this is then to take this and copy it down to the very last thing. Now, you can either go like I did and do it that way. Oh, I broke my system! Don't do what I do, okay? Do better. You can either do that, so copy it, paste it to the bottom, or alternatively, you can highlight the first line and then can you see that little small square there? It's tiny, tiny, tiny. If you double click on that small square, it'll copy it to the bottom for you. Okay. If you do get all these little hashes and you're like, oh my gosh, how do I get this column bigger? Simply at the top, move it to the right. Okay. So now, in essence, you've done your journal. This is BSP. What I can tell you is missing is your total, your difference total that you're going to write off. And this is where you need to put it to BSP reconciliation. So I'm just going to say that's your BSP main BSP account, like your 800 BS1. I'm not sure, you might have a different one in your office. I know the norm is 800 BS1 that we use. So I'm just going to put in here in my details, BSP reconciliation. You can put another description in there, but as I said, this will go to your main 800 BS1 BSP account. And Sylvia will show this to you tomorrow, okay? So if you're wondering what the hell you're missing, you're not missing anything. She'll show it in great detail tomorrow to you. Right. Now, have we got rows? Yes. Have we got headings? Yes. What else does this GL thing need from me? It says here, starting table. Check, we've got a starting table. Header rows, having periods and dates and all of that. Do we have it? Check. Of course we do. Data rows. Yeah, we just added them in. And then it says to you, very important, at the end of this table, you please need to put this following data tag where you're going to say your bracket slash table. That slash tells the system that it's the end. So the top one doesn't have a slash, it's the beginning. So start searching here. And the bottom slashy says stop here. So we need to go put that in. Right, so let's go back. Again, on the far left side in column A, the very last row where you want the system to stop searching for this. Right. Now once you've done this, you please need to save your transactions. So let's go File, Save As, and I'm put it in there. I'm just going to say Final so that I know which one I'm taking. Otherwise, I'm going to pull in the wrong one. So let's go Save. And the system's just going to be like, I'm freaking out, chat, because I've got references and hashes and all of that. You're going to be like, dude, we don't care about that side. We care about the first 5 columns and their rows. So you're going to say, okay, save it. The last thing you can do, although it's not a necessity, is you can take these 5 columns, highlight them, copy them, and then just paste the value. You do not need to do it. A lot of people feel, but we had formulas in here, and Deirdre, yeah, how's it going to know? It does know, but it's also good practice just to do copy, and then very important, paste values. All right, and all you do is you just enter, and it takes it out. And you can see now all my hard work of all those concatenates we had in there, and the minuses and all of that, it's all gone. Right, do a final save. It's still going to moan about all the other stuff. It's fine. If you want to and you don't like these errors, then you could go and delete those columns. As I say, I like them. I like to preserve them because I can see exactly what came through and what went where. You don't have to. My system's only going to focus on the first 5 columns. All right. So let's save and back into the GL. Right, so we've done everything. There's not much more we can do. The only thing left to do now is to actually get it in. So I'm going to show you again where to get it. If it's a BSP Recon, you're going to go to BSP Journals. At the very bottom, there's a nice button here that's called Import. It's also these little Tetris blockies at the top, if you like things from the top. So go Import. Again, I've got Excel, so I'm going to say Excel. If you had Calc, obviously you'll do that. And now you need to go look for that file. So I'm going to go into Quick Software. I think it was into Training. And it was BSP, wasn't it? I never can remember these names, guys. I'm very, very bad. Final BSP. I did save it there. I think it was just Quick Software, actually. Sorry. There we go. BSP October Final. Open. Now nothing happens now. It's like, yay, but what's happening? I merely gave the system the location to find the files. The next step now is to tell it to go and read the Excel file or calc file. Read it. The system's going to run through and it's going to say, listen, you didn't use the optimal fields. You didn't tell me which ones you wanted first and second. So I'm putting it in the order in which you gave it to me. And I'm going to be like, damn right you are. That's cool. Right. At the back, it's going to show you all the lines that you've just imported, which is the 48 lines. Your next step, and you'll notice this button has just become available, is your write to batch. What does it do? This write to batch is where the magic happens. It's going to physically write all this from the Excel spreadsheet into your GL. And this is what it looks like. You write it. It says, are you sure you want to do it? You say yes. And it's done. 48 records done. There it is. Easy as that. Okay. Now, obviously, if you have 3 or 4 lines, then you'll just type it in. But if it's big and it's cumbersome, then I would strongly suggest using the import functionality. So that is importing of your BSP journal. Sylvia will show you the stuff tomorrow. In case you're wondering why this thing is just someone now putting in account numbers here, remember I said to you about the next session where it's going to auto-allocate and all of those stuff? Deirdre was playing and preparing, and it's already started doing that. Yours would be blank, and you would have them in purple, which means you will have to go and put in that information. Okay, this is such a cool nifty tool, but I'll show you that as well. Any questions regarding importing? It doesn't just have to be a BSP journal, guys. We get audit journals. We all get audit journals at year end. And the auditors are like, can you please do this journals? And it's normally lines upon lines upon lines. This is the way to do it. So if it's a journal or anything else that you want to import that's not a bank, this is how you would do it. Okay. The bank is probably exactly the same situation. It's going to need the same things that I've just discussed now. But you'll see that on the banks, normally there's a bit more tweaking that we have to do. Any questions about importing the journals?
Morning.
Good morning, Danielson. How are we today?
Again, you.
Good, thanks.
You see why we need to play on data and not our real data.
But why can't you play on your own data? Why can't you, here's my question to you, why can't you go and create a fake GL?
I never thought of that, thanks.
In case you're wondering how, sorry, that was a very bad laugh. That was like the Wicked Witch of wherever, Westwick. If you want to, remember, you can go and create a new ledger where you can copy your old GL and call it a play ledger. It will ask you how to do that. Okay. Create a dummy ledger. Go create yourself a new dummy ledger. I'll show you at the end of this session because I don't want to... I don't want this recording to, from my editing is going to be a nightmare. I'll show you at the end how to create a dummy GL so you can go play. Okay, everybody, just remind me. Okay, so this is how you import the journal. Guys, the Cashbook is exactly the same method. And I'm going to show you, okay. There is a bit of difference because it depends on how your bank is going to give it to you. Now, some banks are super nice and some of them are absolute beeps. Okay, I'm going to show you now how to do the bank. In here on my system, I have a bank statement. And it looks like this. And I'm like, oh my word, Deirdre. And sometimes it's in a CSV. So the very first thing that you're going to do is you're going to save it into an Excel spreadsheet. Okay. So you're going to go File, Save As. And I'm going to say Bank March 2020. I'm calling it a final because it's going to be a final. I'll leave it in training. If I forget, Nana, and you guys can just tell me where I did it, okay? Because I've got like goldfish syndrome. Right, very important. Change it into an Excel worksheet. Okay, you will probably note that it says something like this, a CSV. Immediately go change it into Excel worksheet, or if you are using calc, go change it into calc. All right, but change it immediately and save it. So now it looks a bit more, it doesn't look like anything, but trust me, the system now knows this is Excel. Now, in here, again, you have your old data, and some of it makes absolutely no sense. The first thing I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to insert myself some columns. I want my real files. Now, importing, what does the system say if we want to import a bank statement? Back in the GL, under transactions, and now I'm going to go into my net bank. There's only 2 entries. I don't want to capture all of this. I was busy. I want the system to help me. Again, I'm going to import Excel here at the bottom. I'm going to go into that help file again. And what does it say? It says exactly the same thing. Your spreadsheet must contain the table. Can you see that table? So let's go put it in. Okay, I can't put table here because I actually have an amount in here. So what am I going to have to do? I'm going to insert a line. And I'm going to put in that table. Table in. Yes. Okay. Step 1, check. Step 2, it's talking about headers again. So now, Deirdre, you need some headers. First thing is date, period, and day. Let's look at my data. What does my data have? My data looks like column H is the date, but it has a 0, 2020, 03, 02, what. Okay, so now this is where we get creative because we're going to have to do something with this. Should we first put in all those headings, or do you think we should first manipulate our data to make sure we have it in the way we want? I'm going to say it's easy enough for you here just to go put in some slashes. So we're going to do some find replace stories, and I'll show you how that works. All right, so I think it's okay. We can put in headers. Insert. And I'm going to use the entire date thing. Do you agree with me? Because I don't have to do funnies here. My date is here. The only thing that I need to get rid of is this 02 story that we have here. And then I need to put in some slashes, because if you look at this, it says to me it needs the year, the slash, the month, the slash, the date. But I think I can jukes this. I think I can do this in Excel. So we will go put in date there. Yes? So date is cool. The others is account, ref, details, and amount. So I know these headings off by heart. Just make a note. If you need to pause this video, by all means do so. But just make a note that we're going to put in account, ref, details, and amount now. Okay, so it's date, account, ref, details, and amount. All right, so now let's start copying. What is the easy stuff that I can copy immediately? I would say I can copy all these descriptions, my details. Do you agree with me? So I'm simply going to copy them and move them into the right column and paste. Done. My amount. Can I simply copy my amount? Warning, huge warning. Some of your banks, when you export this into CSV, will give you opposite signs. Your debits will become credits and your credits will become debits. If you know for a fact that this 7,500 Rand was a deposit, remember, deposits in the GL is a credit, right? Because remember, the bank entry is going to be the debit. So what do we have to do? Very important. Only if your bank statements has thrown the amount into the wrong side, do you then have to put it in the right side? Okay, so don't copy my video if your deposits is already showing a credit. If it's a credit, then you won't go say minus. You're simply going to say copy that whole column and throw it across. Okay, very important, please. I'm just going to copy this for 2 or 3 lines, and then I'm going to be naughty, and I'm going to use that Okie to do it for me. Okay, it was a very small square. If you play the video at half speed and you don't know where to find it, you will see that small little screen. And look at this. Deirdre just copied it into reference, and nobody said anything. It should be into details. All right, sorry, I just got rid of that because that was a big boo-boo. Right. Do I have a reference at this stage? I can't use any of this. This makes absolutely no sense. None of this makes no sense. I will have to go and create it. Now, if you have exported the entire month, as I have, and you will notice here that I go right down to the 31st. If it's the entire month, I would obviously use a reference saying March 2020, and then start with reference 001 because it was the first line that appeared on my bank statement. If you rather want to, you can of course number them by statement number, and I'm assuming this 148 might be my statement number. And no, yes it is. Can you see? Okay, so there's 148, and it goes down for quite a lot of lines. Let's see for 149, and here starts 149. You could, instead of saying March 001 and then going through to whatever the last number is for March, you could also name these by statements and then the line item. So it could look either something like this. Let me show you. Whoops, sorry. So your references could look something like this, where I've just numbered the entire month. Oops, that's a few too many lines, which you can see there. So it's all part of March, and I had a total of 416 lines. Or you can name it. I'm just going to get rid of it. You can name it according to the statement number, which is 148, 001, and then of course the next line would be 2. And you would do this for every statement. It is very much personal choice. I'm not going to tell you what to do. You can choose. I like the March one because I know it's the whole month, but it's absolutely up to you. Whatever you want done in your office, please continue doing that. I'm merely showing you some examples. Right. Now the problem child, which we left for last, as I always do, that's typical of Deirdre, is this date. In essence, it's there. In essence, it's okay. So I can simply just go and copy all of this into the date thing. Whoops. But the problem is, and you'll agree with me, this does not look anything like the GL wants. The GL is saying it wants the year, the slash, the month, another slash, and then the date. Now, if you're very proficient in Excel, you'll know how to do this. If not, I'm going to show you. The first thing we need to get rid of, you'll agree with me, is this 0 in front, because it says 0202 003 what. Highlight the column and then go to find and select. And just say replace. Okay. If you don't know your shortcuts, you can also press Control and H. I'm just showing you the long way to get there. The easiest way to get there is to say Control and H. It's going to open up this. Okay? It's going to say, what is it you want me to find? It's quite cheeky, I'd say. You're going to tell the system that you want to find 02020. Why are we doing that? I am looking for the year right now. I can take it one step further. I can say, right, so we see the 0, we see the 2020, we also see the 03. Why? Because it was March. I want you to look at all of that, so it's not going to look at the date, and I want to replace. So all I'm going to say is, you're going to take all of that, and you're going to replace it with 2020 slash 03 slash. Now, if you're wondering where the hell I got that from, in the GL, remember, it wants the slashes. So why must I go and find and replace things 5 times? I'm going to do this in one shot. I'm going to tell the system, this is what I want to see. So you better give this answer to me. Back in here, it now should then, at the end of it, it should still give me my date. Do you agree with me? Now let's see if this works. I'm not going to replace one. I'm going to be super brave. And right now I'm going to say, you know what? I'm doing everything. Go big or go home. Once I've done that, the system will say, thank you very much. I've done it. I've made a replacement of 416 lines. And you're going to be like, woohoo! Very excited because, hello, did it for you. Let's see what it looks like. Now, isn't that just absolutely marvelous? So you didn't have to go and change all this stuff, and you didn't have to capture it. Now, if you remember correctly, it was 416 lines, guys, the system did for you. You're going to go to the end of your thing, and of course, remember, when you import, you have your start table, you have your heading, which we've done. Check, we've got all our data. Woo-woo. And now the last thing is we need to end it, to tell the system to stop searching for data with your brackets, your slash, and your table. Your brackets, your slash, your table. Right. So now my journal, in essence, is done for my bank. Big warning. Everybody, if you are using WinMain Lite and you have deposits, you need to make sure that you go and get rid of the deposits that was captured in your main module. If you know you captured the 7,500 in main module and you actually have a deposit for it, and I'm talking about deposits, why? Because remember, your deposits cleans out your receipts clearing for you, and it does your bank entry. You must come in here and you must go and delete them. If you don't delete them at this stage, you will have to go and delete them in the program, okay? Because they will duplicate. When you go into your bank recon will show both the entry that came through from WinMain as well as your imported entry you did just now. Okay, so please just be mindful of that. I'll also put in a huge note when we do the editing of the recording. Okay, once you've done, save. And then, of course, some of you might not like the amounts here that we swapped over. You want to do the copy paste. By all means, copy and paste values to get rid of any of your formulas. Okay, and you'll see it's changed. Okay, what is left for you to do? At this stage, if you really want to, you can go and put in those account numbers if you know them off by heart, failing which, if you don't know how to put them in, leave them, and I'll show you how we're going to do it in the GL. Right, so we're ready to rock and roll. Let's go in here. Back in my bank statement items, I'm saying, listen here, I would like you to please import it for me. Go into quick software, go into training, and find my bank recon final. Because we just worked on it, I'm going to say open. Very important, start at the left. Read the files for me. 416 items, everybody. And write. Okay, now your banks might be much, much bigger than this book I've got here. You might have far more. You might have going to the thousands. If you are on WinMain Lite and you have your cash books in here in the GL, this is what you should be doing. I know it feels like it's taking forever. I went very slow. I can probably promise you that I can get this whole month thing in here within 10 minutes. Guaranteed. The only thing left for you to do, of course, is to come in and put the GL codes quickly, if you didn't do that previously. Again, if you're joining my 12 o'clock session, I'll show you that if you say Mountain View, my system will actually come and put the account codes in for you like it did for BSP. Seriously cool. It's seriously awesome. Any questions? I don't think it's difficult. I think your worst job is to get that bank statement into the format that Quick wants it. And yes, it's going to need a bit of juggling in Excel, but trust me, if you have bank statements with so many lines, then you really would want to import them instead of capturing them. Look, if you want to capture, by all means, I'm just showing you easier ways. I think it's far easier to import. And of course, from here, you can manipulate, go put in your VAT, and continue on capturing as you normally would. All right. And that's it. If you're not, if you don't have any questions, I'm done. Thanks, Days. All right, then. I don't know who I'm seeing for the 12 o'clock session where it's going to show you how to automatically allocate these names or link them into a specific account number. It's quite cool. I don't think anybody knows of it. I know most of the people in my office didn't even know about it, and I was shocked. I was like, how can you not know this? This is a gem. But yeah, if you want to join me for 12 o'clock, I'll see you at 12. Otherwise, I'll see you at 2. Mariette, yes, I was dead tired on Friday, to be very honest with you. I feel much better. Thank you so much. For all of you, I'm going to go grab a cup of coffee. And those of you who I will be seeing at 12, do take care until then. For those I'm not going to see, take care until the next time. Have a good one. Bye-bye.